Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Three Bands coming at you with another sick episode. Got some dope stories to share with you. Got some super interesting shoes, and it's all going to be from the book from Jason Coles about the sneakers from Jacques Chassin, From Soul to Soul. So stay tuned. I'm going to get this out of the way, and we're going to jump right in it. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Ewing collection. Not only does it have some sick silhouettes in there, but it's got a really dope story. And that's what I connect with, and I think that's what a lot of you connect with. So jumping in, of course, is Patrick Ewing. This Patrick Ewing Conductor, this was a huge leap in technology, right? When Jacques designed it, he separated the eyelets from the top so you can see it's a separate piece, so it would wrap around that ankle. The tongue wasn't just a regular padded tongue. It was actually a part of the system as well. This was a high-end shoe. It was made to be an NBA player's basketball shoe, and it was, it did a really nice job of it. Patrick Ewing was making I think $34 million a year, something unheard of at that time. So that's really cool to hear that piece of it. But this is another person in the book. The book is just chock full of people who are passionate about shoes, but also the shoes from Jacques. This is Ernie Punk. It's really neat to hear him tell his story about growing up with the shoes and wearing the shoes, but it's also cool to see his collection because he has all the different colorways. It's really truly amazing. You need to check his page out. Got some really dope stuff in there. Moving on to the next page. This is a cutaway of the shoe. Now, I would never know this kind of technology goes in the shoe. Probably you don't either, because when I buy a shoe, I just it looks sick with what I wear, and it's super duper comfortable, doesn't put blisters on my feet. But at the end of the day, Jacques, they put a whole lot of time and effort into this, so it's really nice to see that in the book. Moving on to the next page, this is the Rivalry. Now, this is the shoe that's dope to me. This is the one that I wore. This is the one that I have my memories attached to. I think maybe because it was so much more approachable. There were so many different colorways, right, that I could rock with these particular shoes. And at the same time, it was a little more affordable, right? And you could slide them on and off your feet well, and they just really held up very well. So the Rivalry, even though it wasn't the big boy Conductor, it ended up being more popular because of that. With that being said, this is Julia. I think we all know her as Sneaker Queen. I love to hear how she connects the dots with her shoes and her part of the world where she grew up, which is such a big deal, right? November 12th, 1989, there's this famous picture by Lionel Serrano of the Berlin Wall falling, and that was a huge deal in history, not only for their country, but for the rest of the world. And I remember that happening, and man, what a time to be alive and to actually experience that. In that picture, it has the teenage you sitting on top of that wall, and you can clearly see the Adidas Conductor in that picture. What's really neat about it is that, as a lot of us, we know hip-hop vintage being Eric B. and Rakim and Anthrax and Run DMC and all these particular people in these groups, they wore these shoes. And they were not the mainstream at the time, although hip-hop is mainstream now. But at that particular time, it was more part of that subculture. It was people out there who didn't want to follow, who wanted to be their own, who wanted to have a voice, who wanted to fight for what they believe in. And I know that a lot of people that share my enthusiasm about shoes and not wearing the latest Jordan that comes out, nothing wrong with Jordan. It's nice to have a pair of shoes that you know a little bit something more about than the fact that they cost $200. People gravitate to that kind of stuff, and I do too. It's just super important to me. Here's another iconic picture with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Man, what a dope picture, right? Moving on to this next page, that's a picture of her shoes. I love that all white and gray silhouette. That's her pair though, and she's got these snakeskin details on it. The significance of that snakeskin detail at the time, that was all the fashion rave. As a matter of fact, this is the Metro attitude. When Jacques took a big bag of samples over to New York to a Foot Locker, and he put them out on display just to get a reaction, there was a stampede. People went crazy for these shoes. I mean, literally went crazy for these shoes. Jacques mentioned, he couldn't even sell the freaking shoes because, as samples are, a lot of times they separate the left and the right, so all you have is a bunch of lefts and a bunch of rights, so he couldn't even sell them. At any rate, the show, as we all know, went on to be hugely popular, and you can grab these shoes right now, a pair of these, almost dead stock for less than $100, which is just really, a great value. But at any rate, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I'm going to show you the shoes, but I think more importantly, I just wanted to share the story with you. I love for everyone to hear these stories. And like me, if you didn't know these stories, now you can go out there and you can have another shoe that you can wear and you can rock, and you can know a little bit more about them other than the fact that they're red or they're blue, or I paid $150 for them. And I know there are a lot of people out there like me who are searching to be individual and not follow that in crowd, who just want to be different and be themselves. So And anyway, enjoy these shoes, and until next time, this is Three Bands. As always, collect what you love, and I'm out.